Dr. Ankush B. Bindwal, sir. He is the distinguished senior scientist at CSR, Indian Institute of Petroleum, Dehradun. He is the expert in hydrogen production through the thermochemical routes. He is hold on the PhD in chemical engineering, and he is the assistant professor at the Academy of Scientists, Innovative Research, CSR, with a rich professional background, including the role at CSR IP, CSR NERI, and Dr. Bindwal's expertise in compact renewable hydrogen production, hydrogen storage, hydrogen hydrotreatments, vapors and liquid phase reforming, gas purification, reactive absorptions, modeling processes, and acknowledge the award like the National Postdoc Fellowship that we call the NPF. He is the around the 12 publication in peer review international journals and conference. He is the notable accolades. They include the Professor of SB Chandelier Best Teacher Awards and International Travel Grants. Dr. Bindwal, through his research, attempt to contribute to global efforts for decarbonization and advancing the green infrastructure technology for the sustainable and green future. So he is our next second expert is Dr. Bindwal in productions. So
yeah.
Dr. Ankush, sir.
Am I audible?
Share?
Yeah, yes. Am I audible? Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Nilesh, for this invitation. This invitation to deliver the talk in this my topic today is role of green hydrogen to achieve sustainable development goals. So I am sharing the slides. Are the slides visible to you all?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. I am now in full screen mode. Is it okay? I am audible. I am visible, right?
It is also visible, and your voice is also very good. The slide is on presentation mode. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. So good evening all. It is too late session. So I will try to finish it, and I will try finish it in time, and I will try to keep it interesting. I have chosen a generalized topic to talk about in this session. The topic is role of green hydrogen to achieve sustainable development goals. So we all know about hydrogen. We all know about the activities being done in our country. Green hydrogen. Government taking steps. Government has launched the National Green Hydrogen Mission, and I will take you through the basics of hydrogen. Then first, I will take you through the basics of hydrogen production, demand, routes. Then we will switch it over to green hydrogen. Then, in brief, about the National Green Hydrogen Mission, the status in hydrogen and its perspectives and its goals to achieve this mission objectives. Then we will go global with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is the highlight of our topic today. And we will discuss how this green hydrogen can help achieve those sustainable development goals which United Nations has targeted to achieve by 2030. Then we summarize the session. So we all know today challenges. We are well aware of the challenges we are facing today. The most challenging and critical is global warming, and the air contamination, waste, solid waste, water waste, which is flowing in rivers and sea. The population growth, the scarcity of energy sources, water soil pollution, social and political instability. Of course, we are seeing every now and then now. And the sustainability of cities. Our cities are overburdened, and we have to find the solutions for that. So all the challenges are critical and interlinked. So finding a particular solution will benefit and will help us to solve many of the challenges with a single solution. And the approach to the solution to solve these problems will be two way. First one will be the strategic criteria or strategic way, that we will try to find the environmental impact whenever such the challenges are being tackled. Any government or any researcher who is trying to tackle these challenges or address a solution for the challenges, it can be thought in two ways. First is the strategic way, and the second is controlled way. In the strategic way, first we assess the environmental impact of that particular solution, where it has, apart from its emissions, whether it has any low or harmful emissions or high emissions. While we are trying to solve one problem, we are not creating, we ensure that we are not creating another. So the first is study the environmental impact so that we can identify if there are any harmful or not harmful emissions. Then the sustainability or viability of that fuel, its longevity and renewable nature, its unlimited cycle time. We have to find this fuels which will be sustainable, which will be run in the longer run. Like we are very much heavily habituated to our gasolines and LPG, diesel, all these fuels, and it is very much difficult to find alternative for those and to find the comfort. What if we are comfortable to use these petrol vehicles or diesel vehicles, let's say CNG vehicles, at LPG at our households, we have to find those solutions we or fuels which have unlimited cycle times, like petrol. Like we do not have to change the petrol vehicles or engines of the petrol vehicles because those are too much refined and now at a very much advanced stage. So this is another criteria while we find the solution or we find those fuels for the next generation. And then there is economic booster. So there is another criteria which provide economic incentives and should be used extensively in its market segment. So whenever a new fuel is being tested, it will be looked upon what will be its economic aspects, whether it will be economically feasible, it will be economically sustainable, whether people will be able to afford it, and will it be able to lead its market segment or conquer over its competitors in the market. And then when we go global, there is control criteria like economic. This criteria, this can be the global impact or local impact. So local impact, how many jobs it will be creating, or how much pollution it will be creating, and how much money we will have to invest to reduce that pollution impact or any other impact which that fuel will be creating on the local spaces, and then the global impact. So how will it benefit our country to export the materials or import the materials? How will it benefit to or maintain or develop the global relationships with other countries? And then there is strategic economic advantage like imports and export that can be built with the countries who have the monopolies. Like we see the wars over fuels. Countries then restrain, then block the fuel supply, and they control the economics and then strategically control the economics of those countries who has the import and export relationships with them. So it is the another criteria, and then clean environment. It's the globally what will be the effect of that fuel, and then how it will affect the ecosystem balance. Whether it will maintain ecosystem balance or disrupt ecosystem balance in another way. When we are trying to solve, suppose, a problem with water pollution, we are not. We will have to ensure that we are not in creating another problem for the landfills or any other aspect, any other component of our ecosystem. So the solution is hydrogen. There are many more solutions, but currently the most viable solution which is being looked upon is the hydrogen. And this is the hydrogen tree which shows the basic properties of hydrogen. It was discovered by Henry Cavendish, 1766. It has a long history and it has been associated with history and life long ago. So because of its properties, it is has a lower heating value, it has low density, and it has properties. It is lighter, it's lighter nature. It helps the industry and it helps the economy to find a viable solution in its form. So why hydrogen? Again, so this is the lightest molecule of it has an atomic number. It is abundantly found. We have it in abundance in every form in the nature. It has highest gravimetric energy density, and it is particularly known for its carbon-free nature. That's why it is being used as an energy carrier. So hydrogen, because of these properties, its abundance, its highest gravimetric energy density, that a single molecule of hydrogen can deliver a higher energy as compared to other counterparts or its contemporary fuels. So this is the chart which shows the energy density of various energy carriers in comparison with the hydrogen. Left side you can see the volumetric energy densities compared to the hydrogen fields, and then the right side is the gravimetric storage density of hydrogen as compared to other fuels. You can see that it has the highest gravimetric energy density while it has lowest volumetric density, and this is why it is being used and it is being looked upon for as our future fuel. Another nature is it carbon free, that when it burns, when it is utilized, there is no release of the void atmosphere. The processes which involves nitrogen to produce energy, store energy, those do not release much carbon dioxide in the nature, the atmosphere, and that's why it is carbon free, and it is energy carrier because it can carry the energy from one source to another, and it does helps us to uh, transport, use this hydrogen as in many forms, as energy carrier, solid form, liquid form, or gaseous form. And these are promising applications of hydrogen. We can find the applications of hydrogen in every sector we can think of. The metallurgy sector or energy, fuels and chemicals, fuel upgrading, which already is being done, cells, which is the application which has been studied for the last several years. And now it is the most highlighted discovery of our times. Then aviation and maritime fuels, and then pharmaceuticals. So hydrogen, as discovered, as said, it was discovered in 1766. It is not a new concept. Long ago, in 1874, Jules Verne, a famous science fiction and author, he features he quoted, believe that water will one day be employed as fuel, that hydrogen and oxygen, which constitute it, which singly or together will furnish an inexhaustible source of heat and light, of an intensity of which coal is not capable. And that we are living in this era where we are seeing this happen. So now everyone is talking about the hydrogen, every private organization, every ESU, every nation, this globe is running behind the hydrogen. But this is not the first time they are thing behind this concept of using hydrogen as a fuel. The first wave was in 1800s when the hydrogen was in the early phases, and it was used for lighting and heating. However, this wave ended, natural gas became a cheaper alternative. That time, when natural gas came into the picture, the use of hydrogen for these purposes, for energy purposes, or lighting and heating purposes, then reduced, because the natural was a cheaper and easy to use option. Apart from this economic or easy to use of cheapest feature of natural gas, there are various safety aspects of using hydrogen in this sense. It is still struggling to find a place in these applications with highest safety standards. The second wave of hydrogen then emerged in the mid 20th century for rocket fuel purposes, but this also faded rules as in the case of just lighting and heating purposes, again for the aviation for optical purposes, its use was then again reduced or not looked upon because of this safety concerns. And then in our century, the third wave of the hydrogen began in the late 20th century with the development of fuel cells, and fuel cells were discovered and is ongoing today. And now we have fuel cells in much better shape, much better capacities with an increased focus on green hydrogen for renewable energy and hard to abate sectors. Hard to abate sectors are those sectors which are it is in respect to decarbonization. So these are the sectors which are very hard to decarbonize. Means there are a lot of CO2 emissions. To reduce those emissions, we have to find an alternative, and this is not an easy task. Reducing the emissions, replacing the old processes, established processes, economical processes, efficient and economical, efficient in terms of the production capacities, yields, and economics, not in the in aspect with respect to CO2 emission. So it is very much difficult to replace those hard to abate sectors with hydrogen. So this is the hydrogen demand, global hydrogen demand by various sectors. As we can see, the refining industry has the highest demand. This is projected to. On the other hand, the left side, it is current from 2020. The demand is shown in metric tons, and there are various applications of hydrogen in the refining, in the industry, transport, power, for ammonia manufacturing, cylinders, fuels, buildings, like heating purposes, and grid injection for electricity purposes. So these are the current trends till 2030 for hydrogen demand globally. And on the right side, there are projected hydrogen demand per year for various sectors from 2020 to 2070. So we can see that there is a switch from only refining and industry and ammonia. The projections says that there will be much demand for hydrogen in the power sectors, transport sectors, building sectors, and central grid. This will be the new applications of hydrogen apart from the existing applications in the refining and industry. So how this hydrogen is produced? So there is one major process or one important classical process to produce hydrogen. It is through steam reforming. This is the global statistics of hydrogen production in 2030. So these are the symbols which shows how much blue hydrogen and green hydrogen is produced. Again switch to green hydrogen, but nowadays it is very difficult to segregate it from discussion of hydrogen, and that's why it came into discussion. So blue hydrogen is produced by combining natural gas and heated water to form steam and includes carbon capture to reduce emissions. These are the two notable forms of hydrogen, blue and green. Otherwise, it is at present at many industries, it is the black hydrogen or gray hydrogen, where no carbon capture is being done from the hydrogen production processes. So blue hydrogen, which is produced by combining natural gas or by steam reforming, and it is combined with carbon capture or storage option, so that this carbon emissions can be reduced and this hydrogen production can be environmental friendly, a little bit environmental friendly, not completely, but little bit environmental friendly. And then there is green hydrogen, which is generated completely through the electrolysis of water using renewable energy sources like wind or solar power, resulting in zero emissions. Please remember the hydrogen, which is produced even by electrolysis of water using the fossil fuel based energy received from fossil fuel, it cannot be counted as the green hydrogen. So this is the statistics, and we can see that the major producers of blue hydrogen, North America, Asia Pacific, they are also one of them in this Asia Pacific region. Then there are some parts of Europe, North, North America, and Asia Pacific. They are producing green hydrogen. So these are on the right side, these are the hydrogen projects count as of January 2024. These are the total projects of hydrogen production. globally. So this number of plants are operating and producing hydrogen, and this total around we can see 1600 plants we can witness by 2030. And then there is hydrogen production capacity from am I audible now? Clear? Am I loud? Okay. Okay. So on my right, there are hydrogen production projects globally. So there are around 1600 hydrogen production projects expected by 2030 that will be producing this green hydrogen and blue hydrogen combined. And the capacity, if we talk about the hydrogen production capacity of around 30,000 kiloton of hydrogen per year, and cumulative production capacity of 1 lakh kiloton of hydrogen per year is expected to be 2030. So if we see these graphs, we can see that uh, there is a fast jump in the production projects count as well as in the production capacity. It says that hydrogen is being looked or is being talked about as a future fuel, very seriously. So these are the hydrogen production sources and routes. So main sources of hydrogen are natural gas, oil, coal, electrolysis, and there are some other sources. And the hydrogen can be produced from these sources. Like there is a breakup that fossil fuels, if we talk, there is natural gas and coal as the primary sources of hydrogen. This natural gas can be converted to, or hydrogen can be obtained from natural gas through steam reforming process. It is a very classical process. And then if we get coal source, the coal gasification can yield the hydrogen. And when it is coupled with or without carbon capture and storage, it states its nature, whether it is gray or green, not green, gray or blue. So if we couple the carbon capture and storage, the emissions, these are very highly CO2 emitters, they're high CO2 emitters concepts or projects or processes. And we have to integrate the carbon capture and storage along with them. Then there is another option with nuclear energy, and there are two processes: thermochemical water splitting and high temperature electrolysis to convert nuclear energy to hydrogen. Then there are other options, renewable options, where solar photovoltaic wind biomass can be used to produce this hydrogen through electrolysis and gasification. So these are the primary energy sources, and these are the methods to produce hydrogen. And this on the right, it is breakup on what sources it is using to produce hydrogen. So majorly it is natural gas, then second is oil, and third is coal. And a very small part is small part of hydrogen is generated by electrolysis or produced by electrolysis. So these are the production cost of hydrogen when we use different feedstocks. So a variety of feedstocks can be used for producing hydrogen, like wastewater, oil waste, wood waste, food waste, fossil fuels, coal, natural gas, or water. These are the hydrogen production cost, which we can see in the range of 1.2 to as high as 4.5 US dollar per kg of hydrogen. Steam reforming being a classical, it has a hydrogen production cost of 1.25 to 3.50, whereas its competitor, which is now being looked as a future production method for hydrogen or future source of hydrogen water, it currently stands as 3.01 to 4.51 USD per kg of hydrogen produced. And the industries are behind reducing this cost so that it can come into the range of the steam reforming, and so that it can become an economical option or viable option, economically viable option to produce hydrogen, so that industries or governments can adopt to this water electrolysis process to produce hydrogen easily. So major feedstock share is natural gas, and then the second part is fossil fuel. Again, very less part is on the electrolysis of water. So again, the hydrogen production methods, the conventional methods is SMR of natural gas, means steam methane reforming of natural gas, the coal gasification. And in some industries, hydrogen is also obtained as a byproduct from various chemical processes like. And as this processes, we can see the down arrow, which shows the increasing carbon intensity associated with these processes. So the less carbon intensive is the byproduct from chemical industry. Then next is SMR of natural gas, and then coal gasification. So coal gasification has the highest carbon intensity. That means it releases the highest amount of carbon dioxide per kg of hydrogen produced in the atmosphere. And along with that, on the right side, there are emerging trends which are trying to reduce this carbon intensity or reduce this carbon emissions into the atmosphere. So first is the electrolysis with renewable energy. Then there is fossil fuel plus CCS, electrolysis with nuclear power, then methane pyrolysis, and electrolysis with grid electricity. So these are in the reverse order. So highest or less CO2 emitting, less carbon emitting option will be the electrolysis with renewable energy. And among the new options or emerging options available to produce hydrogen, there are these 5 options, and being electrolysis with grid electricity being the highest CO2 emitter, of course, as less compared to the conventional options, but high as compared to the emerging options. So the world is focusing on this electricity with renewable energy as a temporary solution till we zero in the perfect process or perfect options for this electrolysis with renewable energy. We have the option to use conventional fuels with CCS options, so that this carbon can be captured, used, and stored or recycled to in the existing processes. Then there are these, if we combine this production and demand graphs, we can see that this natural gas, coal, oil, electricity, and byproduct hydrogens, these fuel, or these are the sources which fuels the hydrogen demand in this refining sector, ammonia, transport, other methanol production sectors, and then heat applications. So if we talk about the CO2 emissions that are associated with these processes, you can see that coal gasification without CCS yields 20 kg of CO2 equivalent per kg of hydrogen. Then coal gasification, if we combine with CCS, it reduces this to minimal. Then steam reforming without CCS, steam reforming with CCS. These are the options again which yields about 10 kg of CO2 equivalent per kg of hydrogen. And with CCS, it comes to around 2 kg of CO2 equivalent. And this electrolysis with non-renewable grid power, it has around 25 kg of CO2 equivalent per kg of hydrogen. That's why there is a need to find this grid power from the renewable sources. So hydrogen, based on these CO2 emissions and sources, can classified broadly in these 8 colors. There are several colors that are coming or that are emerging, but these are the earlier classification based on which the hydrogen was classified or color coded for easy understanding or for its source and CO2 emissions. So first is white hydrogen. It is natural hydrogen. It is found naturally occurring in the Earth's crust, produced through the geological processes without any human intervention. Then this yellow hydrogen, which is being produced through electrolysis using grid electricity. The turquoise hydrogen, it is produced by the pyrolysis of methane. The purple hydrogen is used using nuclear power through a combined thermochemical or chemothermal electrolysis processes. There is another pink hydrogen which uses purely nuclear energy to produce hydrogen. Then there is gray hydrogen. It is used by SMR or steam methane natural gas without using CCUS. Then this blue hydrogen, which uses CCUS to capture the CO2. Then the brown hydrogen, which is related to the hydrogen produced from the coal by coal gasification process. And then the hero of the day, green hydrogen, it can be produced from water electrolysis or biomass gasification using completely renewable energy or completely renewable sources like solar and wind. So now this green hydrogen is apart from fueling our vehicles or our buildings or any other energy applications, it has another side which is it can help us in decarbonizing the industry or decarbonizing the sectors which currently hydrogen is using, like steel or cement or any other sector where the hydrogen is produced or hydrogen is used, but still a lot of CO2 emissions are there. So this is another side of green hydrogen to help us in the decarbonization of industrial processes. So in this gray, blue or green, the gray CO2 emitted in the atmosphere, in blue hydrogen, the CO2 stored or used, and in green hydrogen, where green hydrogen is involved, no CO2 is emitted in either in any form or in at any stage of its life cycle or the life cycle of that particular process or product. So if we see the carbon emissions of this various color hydrogens, so we can see the lowest is green hydrogen and black or brown or gray has the highest carbon emissions in the processes. And if we try to quantify this for of hydrogen, you can see the gray hydrogen produced from steam methane reforming. It yields 9.89 kg of CO2 per kg of hydrogen produced. While if we connect CCUS to it, it can yield it can be reduced to 3.32 kg CO2 per kg of hydrogen. And the turquoise hydrogen, that is using plasma, green hydrogen using photovoltaic electrolysis or any renewable source like wind electrolysis or photo. You can see these figures down nearly to zero. So this is the beauty of this hydrogen and combined with the renewable sources. So how this green hydrogen can help us in carbon-free transitions. So these are the processes. The conventional process of steam methane reforming, it is now combined with the carbon capture and storage. Then there is natural gas based renewable heat and methane pyrolysis process. It has carbon as byproduct, and then water electrolysis. And these are the carbons. This is the conventional process. It has this has highest CO2. This has the natural gas combined with CCS. It has low CO2. Then it renewable heat is integrated into it, and carbon is captured, and it is used as a byproduct. It becomes CO2 free. Still, there is carbon as a byproduct involved in its life cycle, and then there is electrolysis when the carbon is completely carbon free. So carbon is not at all involved in its entire life cycle. So it is the conventional time, it is present time. So this is technology shift from the low carbon or low CO2, not low carbon, low CO2 to carbon free. So this technology or water electrolysis, green hydrogen, it aims to remove not only CO2 but entire carbon from the life cycle of those particular products in the refining, fertilizer industry or power or transport industries. So the major focus areas of green hydrogen are this as a feedstock. It focuses on fertilizer industries, refining industries, bulk chemical industries, and iron and steel industries. And if you talk about its nature as an energy carrier, it finds application or it is trying to find applications in energy storage, the blending with natural gas for cooking purposes or heating purposes, then long-haul mobility like transport, and then maritime and shipping industries. So this hydrogen has 2 points. One, it can be used as a feedstock, or another, it can be used as an energy carrier. And this green hydrogen can replace fossil fuels in all of the above applications if these processes are developed with utmost care and attention. So this is a tree again which green hydrogen can find applications in. The first in the environmental decarbonization, which is the primary objective of this green hydrogen role in the our generation's energy scenario. Then in industries as a heating feedstocks, in buildings as a heating power, in transport, in aviation industries, fuels in electric vehicles and shipping, in maritime industries. Socially, the social role of this green hydrogen is looked as it can generate job opportunities when there are many more plants which will be focusing on green hydrogen, or many more investments will come. It will create job and generation. It will obviously then help the social development and economic growth as well. And then energy market, where we can achieve an energy independence, the re-electrification of the areas where it's very high fossil fuel based energy supply is there. And then competitiveness, we will have an alternative to the conventional power sources, and we can then reduce the cost of these conventional sources and reduce our dependence on the sources of the countries where we import and from where we import them, and we can find economic opportunities to export these plants, export this technology, export this fuel as well. So we talked about the hydrogen production methods earlier. There are steam methane reforming in particular, but now we are shifting to green hydrogen, and these are its production methods. So basically, green hydrogen can be produced from the 4 processes, either from the gasification or reforming processes, electrolysis, and thermochemical cycle of water splitting. So first is biomass or bioethanol. So in this, through pyrolysis of biomass, we can produce the hydrogen. Then there is bioethanol. It is a biological process or reforming process could be to produce. If it is taken as a biological process, there are biological ways to produce hydrogen through bioethanol. And if bioethanol used as a replacement to conventional reform, as a replacement to conventional fuels which are being used in reforming processes to produce hydrogen, this bioethanol can be used to produce syngas and then to hydrogen through water gas shift reaction. Then there is another process. It is electrolyzer. This water electrolysis, and with the help of renewable energies, it can be completely carbon free and it can produce green hydrogen. And then there is the thermochemical cycle of water splitting, where excuse me. Okay, sorry. So this is the water electrolysis, and it can be integrated with renewable sources like wind, solar, biomass to produce energy and then convert water into hydrogen. And then there is thermochemical cycle of water splitting. It is a complex process, and so heat requirements of this process are very much higher, and it can be fulfilled with the help of nuclear energy or solar energy. So here at CSIR, Indian Institute of Petroleum, we are working on this concept of thermochemical cycle of water splitting to produce hydrogen from hydrogen sulfide and from the refinery sources. The source is still hydrogen sulfide, which comes from the fossil fuels, but looking at the trouble of this hydrogen sulfide that creates in the refineries, we have identified that problem, and we are working on this concept of producing hydrogen. It is not green hydrogen, but because at one stage we have to supply the heat from electricity, conventional electricity, but it can be converted into the green hydrogen if that sources are replaced by renewable sources. So these are the green hydrogen production statistics. Earlier, I shown this hydrogen production statistics globally that included the blue, green, gray, brown, whatever color you thought of. But this is the typically green hydrogen production statistics in 2023. These are the global statistics, and you can see that China is the biggest producer of green hydrogen in today's date. This is the percentage of global hydrogen produced globally and the country's contribution into that. And you can see that China, which produced 70.30% of the entire global green hydrogen in the 2023, and India stood at 0.85%. So to improve this situation, and to focus on the green hydrogen, to invest much into green hydrogen, Government of India announced National Green Hydrogen Mission in 2023. So it has linkages with the net zero goals. It is one of the way to achieve the net zero goals apart from the decarbonization or development of renewable energy sources like wind power. So government is also focusing on the green hydrogen mission, and it is looking at green hydrogen to as one of the pillars to achieve the net zero targets, which in 2070. So in this mission, there are 3 stages. By 2030, the targets are set at 500 gigawatt of non-fossil fuel capacity from hydrogen, then 50% of the installed capacity from non-fossil fuels, and reducing energy emission intensity of GDP 45% below is 2005 level. Then by 2047, we have to achieve the energy independence, and then by 2070, we have to achieve the net zero goal that we will not emit any CO2 in the atmosphere, any carbon in the atmosphere by 2070, and we have to modify our processes by then to achieve this target. So this is the India's hydrogen scenario. So green hydrogen, it is the driver of India's energy transitions. That which target or to achieve these targets which the government has set us. So 6 million tons per year of target it is being produced currently, and this production is only from natural gas reforming, the 6 million tons, and the global hydrogen consumption is approximately 100 million tons. So you can see the gap in the supply and demand, and still it will be expected to increase by 5-fold by 2050. There will be much demand of hydrogen by 2050, and we have to find processes or increase our capacities to fulfill this demand, so that whenever we will shift to hydrogen economy, we will not be short of hydrogen supply. And these are the short-term targets to achieve by 2030 under this National Green Hydrogen Mission. So at least 5 million metric ton of green hydrogen annual production should be there. The electrolyzers should have the capacity, the cumulative capacity of 60 to 100 gigawatt producing hydrogen. Then total 125 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity for hydrogen, green hydrogen generation, and associated transmission network to replace the current electricity power grid. We have to save rupees 1 lakh crore savings, import savings, that we are currently importing hydrogen, and we have to increase our production capacities so that this huge amount can be saved and we can achieve an independence in producing hydrogen. We have to avoid 50 million metric ton of CO2 emissions, annual emissions by 2030. While doing this, we have to create around 6 lakh jobs and 8 lakhs crores of investment from Indian industries, private sectors, both sectors, and global industries as well. So these are the targets set, and everyone in this chain is working to achieve these targets. So the basic motto of this National Green Hydrogen Mission was demand creation and then incentivizing supply. So there is demand creation, like we have to increase our capacity so that we can cater to the global demand, which is consistently increasing. We have to substitute import and domestic demand on the fossil fuels, fertilizers, and multiple sectors. Whatever hydrogen we import, that those costs are beared by the industries, and then they are passed on to the consumers using the fertilizers or products in the products from the petroleum and petrochemical industries. And then if we can substitute this import with our indigenous hydrogen production, so that these prices can be lowered. And then this strategic interventions for green hydrogen transition. So the direct financial incentives for electrolyzer manufacturing and green hydrogen production can be given. So these are the existing and potential sectors in India that are those will be benefited by using green hydrogen. So basic purpose, basic target of this green hydrogen mission is the electrification and hard to abate sectors. So electrification is one of the basic targets. Like there are many aspects of this mission, there are many aspects of using green hydrogen for various purposes, but the major purpose is to reduce CO2 emissions from these hard to abate sectors like refineries, fertilizers, steel, chemicals, and transportations, where it is very much hard, it is very much difficult to reduce CO2 emissions, very much difficult to find alternative fuels, alternative sources, alternative processes, and it is very difficult to change the mindset of end users to use alternative fuels. So the basic target is electrification and reducing the emissions from these hard to abate sectors, and hydrogen is the best pathway for decarbonizing these sectors. So if we segment or my slides. Am I audible? Great. Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sharing. Thanks. Okay. This is where we left off. Okay. So if we segregate the demand for the hydrogen, the existing demand and latent demand which are coming upon. So the existing demand is in the sectors, so in the refineries, methanol, ammonia manufacturing, power plants, pharma, the glass sectors, steel DRIs, and food sectors. There are examples where this in this process hydrogen is used, like refineries. It is used in integrated and non-integrated processes. For methanol, the hydrogen is produced from methanol from coal gasification in both senses. In the ammonia manufacturing and then the urea, DAP, and NPK, these are the fertilizers in which hydrogen is used. In power plants to produce electricity. In pharma, the hydrogen peroxide and hydrochloric acid are produced from the hydrogen. And these are very important ingredients in the pharma industry. And then glass, the flat glass manufacturing. In food industry, the hydrogen is used for dehydrogenation of specific oils. And then in steel industry, it is used as the reducing agent. And then latent demand, these are the newer sectors which are trying to get hydrogen onto. These are the power sector, distributed CHP units, the centralized co-firing ammonia hydrogen gas turbines, and this hydrogen storage. Then there is transport application in passenger, commercial, and high, uh, high heavy vehicles like forklifts and all. And then there is energy applications in steel industry, cement industry, and primary manufacturing industry. So this in these industries, green hydrogen bears the potential in India as well on the global scale. So this is the global perspective, and like our green hydrogen mission, there are various countries on this globe have declared their hydrogen plans, strategies, or roadmaps. And this graph it shows the nature of hydrogen they are playing upon. Like some countries are banking upon green hydrogen, some on turquoise hydrogen, some are focused on blue hydrogen, some are still using the gray hydrogen, and some are using a mix of all these sorts. So green hydrogen's critical roles are during the energy transition to combat global warming are this. First is renewable energy integration, and second in the decarbonization of energy systems. So if hydrogen is integrated with renewable energy integration, nature integrations will be flexible systems. It will have the increased accessibility, enhanced resilience, multi-generational options, reduced monopoly of the fuels, and improve efficiency over other fuels. Then decarbonization of energy systems, it can help us to achieve a cleaner transportation, the cleaner industrial processes, cleaner outputs to meet the needs free of CO2. We will have a renewable feedstock to all the sectors which hydrogen is used in, and then reduce the environmental impact and of course increase sustainability. So this is the green hydrogen's role in mainly tackling the renewable energy integrations and decarbonization and finding the solution for the several industries where hydrogen is integrated, hydrogen is used, or some new applications where hydrogen will be integrated. Apart from that, apart from these major challenges or current challenges, which which we saw on the first slide, there are much more challenges in this world, in this globe. The United Nations is trying to find a solution for the challenges, and to find a way, they targeted or they defined some sustainable development goals, which is also is the title of the talk and role of green hydrogen to achieve these goals. But before it, we should know what are the sustainable development. So basically, we have a lot more problems than energy, global warming, than clean energy. And those problems, although we do not face in our real lives or our daily lives, there are many more poor countries which face such problems, which uh, are still underdeveloped and still trying to find the basic solutions for the very basic problems, which uh, which cannot be the problem for us, which cannot be the problems for many developed nations. But there are several countries which are still trying to find the food, trying to fight the hunger, trying to fight the malnutrition, trying to fight the gender inequality, the job creation, the quality educations, and all these problems are there. And to this is United Nations has uh, listed those problems, and they based on those problems, and they developed some goals so that there will be there should be a sustainable development globally for each and every country, of each and every individual, as well as each and every component of this universe. And they term it as the sustainable development goals. So the basic or the simplest definition of this sustainable development goals is the to-do list for the planet that will transform the world. That means they have listed some activities in the form of these goals, and some tasks and subtasks, and they are trying to achieve it by 2030, or some set at, or if not, some at some later stage, so that these goals, the problems should be known. Uh, every individual should try to find a solution for those problems. But it's important to know the problem, and that's what the United Nations tried to do, and develop a sheet based on those problems. So in 2015, the United Nations adopted the 2030 agenda, thus providing a global framework for jointly implementing the sustainable development. And this agenda sets forth 17 sustainable development goals and 169 more specific targets to be met by 2030, encompassing economic, environmental, and social dimensions. So there are 17 sustainable development goals which are defined by United Nations, and 169 more specific targets under those. Those specific targets could be country specific, could be gender specific, could be race specific, could be location specific. But overall, there are 17 objectives to be achieved by 2030, and that should include the economic, environmental, and social development of each and every component, or each and every individual on this planet. So these are the goals which are defined by the United Nations in 2015. There are 17 goals. So first is no poverty. Second is zero hunger. Third is good health and well-being. Fourth is quality education. Fifth is gender equality. Sixth is clean water and sanitation. Seventh is affordable and clean energy. Eighth, decent work and economic growth. Ninth is industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10, reduce inequalities. 11, sustainable cities and communities. 12 is responsible consumption and production. 13 is climate action. 14 is life below water. 15 is life on land, 16 is peace, justice, and strong institution, and 17 is partnership to achieve all these goals. So you will be seeing that many of these goals are not our objectives to achieve, or our nation's objective to achieve, but there are countries which are still fighting to achieve these goals or achieve these fundamental rights of the human. And we are now will see how this green hydrogen will be able to help us to achieve these goals as well. Apart from the clean energy, apart from the industrial revolution, apart from the transportation, building, all these technological innovations which we are trying to uh, innovate. So green hydrogen, how will it help to achieve the no poverty or zero hunger, or quality education, or gender equality in the next slides. So these goals, 17 goals, can be broadly as classified into these 6 segments. So the social inclusion and equality, So the goal number 1, 2, 3, 6, and 10. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, clean water and sanitation, and reduce inequalities. They are considered under social inclusion and equality. Then there is productivity and innovation, where quality education, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, and industry innovation and infrastructure are discussed. Then there is economic integration, where industry innovation and infrastructure, and then partnerships for these goals, so that economic integration can be done globally. Then gender equality and diversity, where goal number 5 and 10 are included. Then the climate change and environmental sustainability, there are 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, which talk about discuss or focus on the climate change and environmental sustainability, and then institutional capacity and rule of the law. Goal number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. So these are the roles of green hydrogen to achieve each and every sustainable development goal. So first is no poverty. So how green hydrogen can help us? So green hydrogen can create job opportunities in the renewable energy sectors, and this energy access supports economic growth that can reduce the poverty in underdeveloped regions. So whenever there will be newer plants or newer industries which will be focused on which will be generating green hydrogen, and thus industries will be located at locations where there is poor jobs and opportunities, the green hydrogen can help to deal the goal number 1, no poverty, with the upcoming infrastructure. So second is zero hunger. So hydrogen powered agriculture, like hydrogen is already being used in ammonia manufacturing, and then DK and DP fertilizers. And this hydrogen powered agriculture, when the costs will be lowered, there will be a sustainable solution to produce these fertilizers, production irrigation systems. It will enhance food security. And then, apart from these direct applications, green hydrogen can also be used in sustainable food production and storage. So third is good health and well-being. So green hydrogen will help us to reduce CO2 emissions. That will help us to reduce air pollution, and it will, by replacing these fossil fuels in transport and industry sectors, and thus it can decrease the respiratory diseases linked to emissions. And this it is one of the way that green hydrogen can contribute to goal number 3, good health and well-being. Then number 4 is quality education, where renewable energy projects funded through green hydrogen can provide electricity to schools where there are no electricity in schools, and students have to struggle to find the electricity for studying, to use the computers as well in the rural or tribal areas. So this green hydrogen projects, so green hydrogen based electricity can solve this problem, and it can create educational opportunities in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and management fields through hydrogen research and development. Number 5 is gender equality. So in the upcoming hydrogen-based projects, it of course can be done in existing projects as well, existing industries as well. The women's participation in renewable energy sectors can be promoted through hydrogen-based projects, and reducing reliance on biomass for cooking improves health and frees time for education and work. So this is can be talked as indirect benefit when there will be hydrogen-based cooking applications in the rural areas specifically. We do not have that challenge, gender equality or this cooking, but there are areas where still people struggle to cook, have gas stoves or LPG gas. So in the countries like South Africa, and so there this green hydrogen can play a role and give women a free time for education and work. They can be uh, included in the main workforce. Then clean water and sanitation, the hydrogen fuel cells power water purification and desalination plants. Desalination is the very energy intensive process, and hydrogen fuel cells can power those plants, and efficient energy for water distribution in arid regions. So here there are water distribution, energy intensive water distribution is there. The hydrogen can fuel those systems. So number 7 is affordable and clean energy. This is of course a directly related goal, and it green hydrogen can provide a scalable and renewable energy storage solution. It can support the energy security by replacing fossil fuels in the critical sectors. So then decent work and economic growth. The hydrogen economy generates employment in production, storage, and distribution. Hydrogen production or utilization is not the only aspect of green hydrogen or hydrogen economy or hydrogen systems. There are its production, storage, distribution, utilization. These are four stages of hydrogen life cycle, and the this all life cycles can generate numerous job opportunities. Then it also encourages investment in sustainable infrastructure and innovation. Nine, industry innovation and infrastructure. So decarbonizing industries, steel, cements, chemical with hydrogen-based solutions and development of hydrogen powered transportation infrastructure can help to achieve Industry 5.0, which is the current version of Industry Revolution. And green hydrogen can help to achieve this goal in through this transportation infrastructure and newer solutions or newer processes. Then goal number 10 is reduce inequalities. It is decentralized hydrogen production brings energy access to undeserved regions. And then economic opportunities can also be created in hydrogen related industries, and that can uplift the marginalized communities. Here there are less job opportunities or less inclusion of particular tribes or some particular locals. This decentralized hydrogen production plants means if like power plants are located at one specific location and the jobs are created for that specific location only. But in future, when we will be developing the hydrogen economy, but because the power plant was the past, now we are talking about the future, and we have the opportunity, we have various challenges, and we have various solutions for that. And if we think of producing the decentralized hydrogen production plants and spokes of the hydrogen production plants at various locations, this inequality can be reduced. The sustainable cities and communities, hydrogen fuel cells can power public transport that can reduce emissions and that can heavily free our cities which are loaded with pollution, and it can support smart grid with energy efficient buildings. Then goal number 12 is responsible consumption and production. So hydrogen enables circular economies by reducing reliance on finite resources, and it supports sustainable industrial practices. So basically hydrogen, it can enable circular economies. Circular economies means whatever products will be producing using the hydrogen, where hydrogen involved, if we can use those products in the circular economy, that rather than uh, uh, just throwing it, we can include it in the chain or circularly utilize it, use it. So it can reduce the reliance on finite resources like fossil fuels. Then goal number 13 is climate action. This green hydrogen directly contributes to decarbonization, and it replaces fossil fuels in transportation, industry, and power. Goal number 14, life below water. It reduces ocean acidification by lowering CO2 emissions. And then if there's solutions for marine shipping or shipping industries are developed based on the green hydrogen, the sustainable shipping fuels can also minimize the marine pollution. Then 15 is life on land. Because we are reducing our dependency on biomass-based fuels or fossil fuels, it can mitigate the deforestation by replacing biomass fuel dependency, and it can reduce the land degradation from mining fossil fuels. Then 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions. The energy security which every country or uh, every region will have, it can reduce the geopolitical tensions over fossil fuel resources. Like some countries have monopoly on oil, petrochemicals, or petroleum sources, and they drive the industry. They drive the economy. If some country like India is based on the uh, fossil fuel economy, so we are not self-dependent. We are dependent from for another country on another countries for on imports of those crude oil or any other fossil fuels. And if something happens and they block the supply, we will be our economy will be disturbed. And if the hydrogen can be used as a source of energy security, it can reduce such geopolitical tensions. Then it encourages international cooperation on clean energy policies. Those countries like G20, those are interested to collaborate on clean energies, then international collaborations can happen. And then partnerships for the goals. This again promotes global collaboration, hydrogen research, production, and trade, and it encourages public-private partnerships for green hydrogen projects. These will be costly projects, and this will be coming in a large number, and it will not be possible for any single entity to raise this funding. So it can encourage the public and private partnership, public-private partnerships for such green hydrogen projects. So some of the 17 goals where green hydrogen contributes directly or indirectly. So this is the chakra. This is the hydrogen production value chain, and these are the 17 goals listed, and it shows the direct influence of hydrogen value chain or hydrogen production on achieving these sustainable development goals. Direct negative influence, or some of the goals are not at all influence, or impact on those goals is not, impact on achievement of those goals is not yet studied or not unknown. And then there are also positive influences and negative influences. Like some goals can be influenced by hydrogen in the positive way or some in the negative way. So this chakra is looking complex. These are the 17 goals under this. These are totally 169 subtasks, and these are the color codes. This define the influence of this hydrogen value chain on the achievement of these sustainable development goals. So based on the defining this screen, defining this chakra, defining this diagram, we come to a conclusion that green hydrogen production can affect these goals directly. Goal number 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, and 17. They are clean water and sanitation, affordable energy, affordable and clean energy, industry, innovation, sustainable cities, responsible production, climate action, and partnerships. Global partnerships are directly affected through green hydrogen production. And this is the diagram which shows that apart from the independent goals, which like green hydrogen can contribute to all these goals in a combined manner as well. So as said earlier also, hydrogen has a life cycle. So only the production is not the aspect. There are another aspects of hydrogen, and this is the life cycle of hydrogen. Hydrogen is produced through these sources: natural gas, coal, biomass, waste rock. It is produced, then there is need to store it, then there is need to transport it, and then it is used in specific applications. It could be steady state application like energy plant, CHP, UPS, or burners, or it can be mobile applications like aerospace, vehicle, or electronic devices. And each of these stages of hydrogen, or this life cycle stages of hydrogen, there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of challenges that remain to be solved. And this diagram, it shows that hydrogen production, hydrogen transportation, hydrogen end use, how it can solve the specific goals. So these are the subtasks 9A, 9.1, 9.2 numbers, which shows that these sustainable development goals of these SDGs can be solved through use of sustainable green hydrogen. So this is the diagram, and this shows that how this production, transportation, and end use can affect each and every goal, can help to achieve the each and every goal. So this is entirely green hydrogen value chain. This is production, transportation, end use. These are the economic dimensions where green hydrogen will contribute through the economic dimension. Then these blue dots that shows that it will contribute through an environmental dimensions. and these square blocks, they show that it will contribute through a social dimension. So hydrogen production can help to achieve this affordable and clean energy aspect through a social dimension. Then clean water and sanitation through an environmental dimension, production route. Then this life on land. It is again an environmental dimensions which can affected by the or which can be solved by the hydrogen production route. Then 16 is justice and strong institution. It is a social dimension of using green hydrogen and its production. So then there is hydrogen transportation. So its transportation in the transportation energy, like below water, can be affected by environmental dimensions. For example, the marine fuels, they are based on hydrogen. There will be less CO2 emission. Those CO2 emissions will save a lot of aquatic life. This is the environmental dimensions of uh, achieving that goal number 14. Then it is economic dimensions to achieve industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So transportation can help the goal achieve goal number 9. It will be an economic dimension. It will economically benefit that goal rather than environmentally or social dimension. That will be a economic dimension. And this way, this figure goes. So these are the social dimensions of hydrogen production: no poverty, zero hunger, quality education, and gender inequality. And this is the economic dimension: reduce inequality. Any job opportunities are created, and these inequalities are reduced. And these ultimately 13 and 17 are goals which are affected by all of these hydrogen production, transportation, and end use applications. And these goals can be solved or achieved. So, apart from these sustainable development goals, so green hydrogen's role in Industry 5.0 is it will help to facilitate renewable integration. It will help to distribute energy across regions. It will help to increase resilience of energy systems. It will help to decarbonize power generation, decarbonize non-industrial hard-to-abate sectors, and decarbonize industrial energy use. So if you look at these figures, we are now in the era where Industry 5.0, 5.0 is going on. So Industry 5.0 is sustainable, it is resilience, it is human-centric. So to make it more sustainable or really sustainable, the green hydrogen can play this role and it can help industry solve these issues or help develop these decarbonized processes or integrated energy system based on renewable energies so that these industries can be much more sustainable, human-centric, resilient, and environmental friendly as well. There were eras in 1800s where Industry 1.0, where mechanization, water and steam powers were there. In Industry 2.0, where 1900s, the Industrial Revolution, there was mass production and electric power used. In Industry 3.0 in 2000, there was computers, automated productions were there. In 2010, there was cyber physical IoT networking and AML uses in the industry. And now 2020 onwards, we are living in an area where human robot collaborations, customized processes, customized products are being developed in the industries, and green hydrogen can play the role in this version of industry. So this is the word cloud where this is the literature search where people mostly search for these sustainable development goals and solutions thereon. So you can find the major is the decarbonization and renewable energy and clean hydrogen. These are the three terms which are mostly search or research uh, topics in the world with respect to green hydrogen. So to achieve these goals, we have to prioritize our R&D efforts across some key areas. So the challenges, we talked about the goals, the achievement, the opportunities, and now there are some challenges to achieve these goals. So and that should be prioritized. So one is high efficiency, low cost electrolyzers need to be produced. Low cost storage and transportation applications, storage options of hydrogen. Hydrogen storage is very much critical, very much difficult, and such low cost storage options should be identified. there should be advanced materials that can be used in hydrogen production, storage, and transportation. Hydrogen from biomass presents an huge opportunity to bank on the green hydrogen. Then the membranes are third gen electrocatalysts to improvise the water electrolysis process, improvised fuel cells. Green steel, steel is very much high to our sector. Hydrogen is the main steel industry. So when their green hydrogen is used, the green steel can be produced. And then seawater electrolysis via innovative chemistry. Electrolysis when done through normal water, it is very much costly, and water using the water faces a challenge directly with our livelihood. That there is a fundamental question that where the water should be used for drinking or producing hydrogen. So if we can find opportunities to use seawater, which is abundant, which is enormous, to use in the electrolysis, this green hydrogen can be much more attractive. And these are main areas of development through green hydrogen, the electrolysis technology improvement, green hydrogen and derivative, ammonia and electro fuel production, then hydrogen storage advances, transportation and distribution, the new fuels and developments, the sector-specific uses of hydrogen, integration into smart grids and energy systems, the public perceptions, safety and regulations, and then market dynamics and policy analysis to use green hydrogen in these areas. This is the importance of partnerships and collaboration. I found this interesting figure in one of such articles to develop solutions and overcome challenges to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We have to distillate, we have to filter, we have to mix the early career perspectives, key challenges, and diverse stakeholders to find the collaborative solutions to achieve the sustainable development goals. This is the uses of hydrogen that is realizable in the coming decades when we will be living in the hydrogen economy. So currently we are using hydrogen for transportation fuel, power generation, grid balancing, for at some places for residential commercial buildings, for industry and long distance transport and fuel for industry. And we are looking to go up to beyond 2031, where it will be used as a centralized power, pure hydrogen heating rather than natural gas heating, in the green steel manufacturing, in the lower medium grade industrial heat, in our rail transport, in our long haul transport, commercial vehicles, passenger vehicles, trucks, distributed power systems, and aviation. So this is everyone aiming for by 2050 or 2070. And these are the transition steps towards fully developed sustainable hydrogen economy, where first research, innovation, and commercialization is done, then infrastructure and market is developed, then the commercially viable products are produced, and then we can achieve the sustainable hydrogen economy. So I thank you very much all to listen me patiently for 1.5 hours. And now we will take some questions.
That was the question.
Any questions, answer?
Questions in the chat box.
Okay.
Option in chat box.
Please type on chat box. If you have any query regarding this session, please put your questions in chat box. Okay.
So I don't expect much questions. Everything was no.
Ankush sir, one question is that green hydrogen from seawater and water from sewage treatment plants give input.
Yeah, it can be produced through sewage treatment plants, there are various processes like aqueous reforming, where the sewage water can be used to produce hydrogen through reforming process as well as through electrolysis.
Okay. One another question is that hydrogen H2 storage, how?
Hydrogen storage, there are
Hmm.
many options to store hydrogen. It can be stored in liquid form, it can be stored in compressed form, it can be stored in alloys, it can be stored in chemical structures like metal organic frameworks. So there are many options to. It can be stored in the liquid form in the form of liquid organic hydrogen carriers,
Okay.
seeds. So there are many available options to store, but the main aspect is safety. So the work is going on, the research is going on, but still it is stored in the compressed form on the industrial level. But novel solutions are being developed. Those solutions are application specific. Like one solution that is being used for heating the building cannot be used for transportation. So that way, the application specific solutions are being done for hydrogen storage.
Okay, sir. One is another question. What safety measure are important for hydrogen storage?
So what safety measure? Hydrogen is highly flammable. So the main concern is its flammability. Then it can create high pressure inside in the compressed form. So these are the two major concerns which are critical to develop a hydrogen storage system. Safety measures is nothing safety. It is again the application specific. It's again the location specific. Like you cannot use hydrogen at places where there is fire hazards or any other corrosive. There are corrosive substances are present. Those can corrode the vessels where in which hydrogen is stored. So again, these are the application specific.
Okay. Now, sir,
Is
one is more question. Is
railway
railway
sewage
sewage?
also used to develop green hydrogen? Madam
Sorry,
Nisha
sir.
Ojha, I really don't have any idea.
Huh.
I did not came across any article where railway sewage can be used for to produce green hydrogen. So I am not aware of the composition of railway sewage. But wastewater can be used for green hydrogen.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for informative, knowledgeable session to our participant. I hope all participants will be explore knowledge in their research work as well as future work. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. One more question there is someone posted. Green hydrogen is less in carbon emissions, and then how we have to bring into the knowledge of public using it as a fuel. We use Miss Shirisha Komuri. I hope. So we use electric vehicles. So we were not aware till these Tatas and this bring these electric vehicles into our lives. And now we are using it. We are using it heavily. We are relying on it. People have only electric vehicles. They are using for regular commute. So this is the way that whenever these applications will be developed and those will be coming into our lives, people will start believing this potential of green hydrogen. The same happened in the case of CNG, same happened in the case of electric vehicles, and same is going to happen for the green hydrogen. First, the industrial level solutions will be developed, and then it will be developed for transportation applications parallelly, and we will be aware, when we accommodate it into our lifestyle. So to use fuel cell burners, I am not aware of this innovation, but if it is safe and those students are claiming that it can be used, you can try it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you.
for
Thank
giving
you very
your
much
valuable
for
times to us.
listening to me so late night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir,